All right. Hello, YouTube.
Hello.
And we'll be on... Wait, what am I streaming to? Hopefully I'm streaming to Geek.
That would be a good thing to verify.
Wait, I hear myself, so I am streaming to Geek. Because I know I have a tab open of that. Oh, there it is. Gotta mute that. Okay, I got the dashboard up. I got the chat room. Pop out chat. I've got the notifications on because we get so well, not so few, but it's just nice having them on during the show. And
did you watch the PC gaming show?
I watched some of it, but then it just like Intel took the stage, and it just. Were you able to watch any of it?
No, I just saw the super cut from Kroby Cat that had a little bit of it in there. The host was pretty awful. It seems like.
Day 9's usually pretty good at hosting, but it's just there's nothing that's on PC. I mean, there's indie titles, Killing Floor, which is like this third year that they've been on stage. I was surprised it was sponsored by Intel, not AMD like last year. But yeah, I mean, they showed a little bit of I think it was Destiny 2. Sprinkled in with some indie games, some games that aren't exclusive to PC. Is just it's not what I guess what PC gamers want, I guess.
I would agree with them. I don't feel like they really did much.
I mean, now if you had like Steam at E3, but then again, they just be re-announcing all the other games, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you really need. Well, I think I'll say this during the show, but the reason why they want the PC is that to show that, hey, we're still thinking of the PC market. Because I know all the other, but like the console makers, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft and Sony especially, even though their property is available for the PC, they still want to tout their console. Because they want people to play on their console, not on the PC.
Yeah. That's tricky for me, man, because I feel like I keep getting the argument from mostly Sony fanboys, but I'm getting the argument where it's not an exclusive if it's on PC as well. But you're usually either a console person or a PC person. And what I mean by that is like the serious games you're going to play are either going to be on a console or on a PC. Now, you can have a PC or even a Mac and have your Steam titles that are usually like strategy games or just like little indie shit to kill time, but then you're mostly gaming with friends on your console, or the opposite. You're
Yeah.
a big LOL guy, or
Yeah, it depends where your friends are at and what type of games you enjoy playing. Like your multiplayer games, most of those people are going to be on a console because it's a set specs all across the board.
yeah. Which personally,
So
I prefer that too. I feel like having to play against PC people that maybe have a 4K card already built into their systems and can see every little detail and can see my little speck running through the woods might not
yeah,
might not help me to play them if I'm on like medium settings just because of the build I can afford,
yeah, but like I like PC. I mean, it's just because it's so much more convenient. Like making a party on voice chat, Vent back in the day, and now Discord has killed Vent pretty much.
Yeah.
Any kind of free uh, TeamSpeak kind of deal has been killed by Discord. Was Discord there? They had to be there, right?
If I have to think about it, I don't remember seeing like an actual presence. I mean, they were probably there, but not like out in the open. I imagine that's what the teams were using, like for quick champions and stuff like that, but I can't remember seeing them at all. Twitch had a couple like different sections there, which was like they had one huge booth, and then they had a bunch of little mini booths outside the convention, which was weird. I mean, they it was like some of the stations didn't weren't even manned. They had like stations just had like demos running
Ah,
for like videos and stuff, and then they had the booth inside, which was a little bit more in depth. But honestly, I didn't know what the purpose of it was because it seems like it was just like a meeting place. There's a lot of weird stuff there this time around that I can say for sure wasn't there in 2013. Like there was this one, it looked like a Zen garden inside one of the pavilions. It was just called T2, and people were meeting in there, but not necessarily playing games. They were literally just sitting there having like meetings and stuff. I was like, was that the purpose all along, or weird? Because I figure most of the deals are already like done by the time show floor is open. Most of that stuff is done probably at the hotels and stuff like that.
yeah, back rooms and all that.
Yeah.
But all right. We got a minute till. I guess I'll go ahead and start it out.
Okay.
Okay, let me set up the recording. All right, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let us kick this show off. All right, all right, I've got everything going. You're all set. You're in the notes.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that completely forgot that I need something. Um, like all ready to go, and I just realized that I don't have the bumpers.
Whoops.
Is this it? Oh no, that's a full show. Uh, where is the gamer gig? Oh well, there's the science one. I need that one. Well, maybe not. Download that one. Yeah, the best time to be doing this live. Where is the gamer geek audio? The episodes. Are they in the box? There it is. It is in the box.
am I so grainy?
Oh, he names it mixed down. Okay. It's probably your light. You're using a laptop?
Yeah.
No, that's not it. Did you?
Hmm.
No, that's not it. Oh, no. Did you? Oh, man, trying to find. It's not in the box, and it's not even in the Dropbox.
Well, that's not good.
Wait, is that it there? Okay. Can you go ahead and say something for me, Meko?
We are trying to stream Geek.io. Testing, 1, 2.
Okay, you don't hear yourself, right?
No.
Okay, that's good. All right. Hey, Dale. All right. So we're more
Do
prepared than.
I sound okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
you should sound fine. Yeah,
Okay.
as long as you're not hearing yourself, that's good. Yeah, because the way I have things set up on my end, it's. Oh wait, you can't hear anything. I'm playing, right? Okay. Can you hear anything? Can you hear yourself now?
No.
Give me like a long 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay. Ah, that's why. Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah, sorry about that. I got to bring that audio down a bit. Thank you, Dale. Turn this up. Oh, I can just move that one. Move that up. Playback. All right, I think we are ready to go. All right, I'm going to play audio. Tell me if it's too loud for you. Is that good audio right there?
It got a little loud for a minute, but it's fine.
Welcome to Geeks, where we take a look at the latest events.
All right, so let's start off there, and then we'll see where we go from there. Okay. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Geeks, where we take a look at the latest events in video, card, and tabletop games.
And hello and welcome. This is Gamer Geeks, episode 22, recorded June 19th, 2017. I am your host, Raul Garza, taking over for CJ. He will be on later. Joining me this week, fresh out of E3, we have
Miguel La Rosa. Hey guys, how you doing?
Doing good. Well,
we have a lot to talk about.
we have a hell of a lot to talk about. So before we get into talking about that, let's so how was your trip? How was the trip itself?
Oh, the trip is fine. I really love LA. If I could, I would try to convince my girl to move there. It's a really nice place, and it's kind of hard to find too many cities in the country where it's 73 degrees in June, and that's the high. So it's beautiful weather, like nice breeze even when it's a little warm, and overall good vibes. I'm always in awe when I see mountains. I don't know, maybe it's just me.
Yeah, you think that mountain's only like a couple miles up, and it's way bigger when you get close up.
Definitely. But yeah, just having such a good feeling walking down Hollywood Boulevard, knowing you're about to go into a concert for Kingdom Hearts. That was awesome. Like the initial feelings walking through the booths this year, I have to say a lot of companies stepped up the game. So, but there were
Yeah.
setbacks, and before going into too much detail, I won't. Let's just move on first.
All right, let's go into the news. Before we go into the news, let's have a quick message from our sponsors. See you on the other side.
On to the news.
All right. So if you've been living under a rock the past couple days, E3 was last week. Electronic Entertainment Expo. Yes. I don't think many people actually know the full name of E3, right?
I had that question for the last month or so. wait, what's E3 stand for? I'm like, I think it's Electronic Entertainment Expo, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's been that way for only a couple of years actually. That wasn't the original title for it. Um, although I can't recall the real title off the top of my head right now.
All right. Well, you were actually live on the floor at E3. So how was it? I mean, how was the vibe with the open to the public?
Well, let me put it this way: we have industry passes. Those are really awesome. In 2013, we went, and it felt like the waits were maybe 40 minutes to an hour for like a Destiny, which had a super huge ton amount of hype going on at the time. So those lines were expected. But most of the booths were set up where you could go through an entire developer's, set of games in the same line, so to speak. So when I went to EA that year, EA was showcasing their new engines for all their sports games. I got to see, their UFC engine in action, and then they let us go into the booths to play Madden or FIFA, and there was no rush. There was like no traffic. People were just coming and going as they wanted, and you could have real conversations with the developers, asking questions and stuff. This year, compared to that year, there was about 23,000 more people in attendance.
Oof.
And I know part of that is having different groups involved. Like there was a definite group of streamers, especially from Twitch, that they had more staff on hand. There were tournaments going on for Quake Champions and Street Fighter Five. They took over LA Live and they built a whole esports arena for Twitch, which looked awesome.
Wow.
So there was a lot of parts of it where it made sense and it looked like they tried to cater to everything. Let's not forget E3 Coliseum. Jeff Keighley did a great job after I watched some of the interviews. Now, here's the problem where I was able to play 30, 40 games last time around. I played 5 games.
Oh.
And this is because the industry pass gives you nothing. It literally gives you nothing. A fan
Yeah.
pass has no priority whatsoever. An industry pass has no priority whatsoever. You have to be press. Nintendo created this beautiful, beautiful booth filled with art from Mario Odyssey that's coming out, and the tree house was built into their section, which it wasn't for the last couple of years. It would just be something on the side or a separate event. And this time it was just from the moment we walked in at 12 o'clock on day one, it was, pardon me, a shit show.
Yeah, I've been thinking about E3, and it's kind of like, what's the point of E3 nowadays? Because yes, you do get to show it off to the industry. You get to show it off to your to the press, to your distributors, because that's what it is. It's a place where they can talk to distributors, contractors, partners.
Yeah.
Because those were probably going on in hotel rooms, in back rooms. They had them there. This is the game. This is what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and I mean, pretty much what happened is the first day we walked over to Sony, and Sony's like, "Hey, so in order to enjoy any of our entertainment or any of our booths, you have to download the PlayStation Experience app." Oh, okay. This is the first I'm hearing of it. Probably not a good time to tell people that when they're already on the floor.
Yeah.
So we got in.
Yeah.
We got in. We got our RSVP for Detroit Become Human. Awesome demo.
Oh, really? They called you in. That's interesting.
Yeah, through the app, you would book your spot. There was like 64 spots per session as far as on a sit-in demo. Now the problem became when it came to like hands-on gameplay. Now we're talking about 2 sessions every 15 minutes.
Ooh. So not really time to
We're talking about 63,000 people, and then just if it was even just 15,000 people that are fans trying to get into these apps and download stuff, we got to the point where we were sitting at Quake Champions just watching a round or two, counting the seconds down, looking at our watch hand and going 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, RSVP. Loading, crash. No, what the no. And everything's full.
Oh man, it just sounds like you say. I mean, it sounded really bad because I mean,
It's the worst. It was the worst.
I think they shouldn't open it up because the developers and all that, they have the main gaming conventions. I mean, you got PAX, which they hold 4, 5 if you count the tabletop one, but they hold 4. East, West, South. Well, they don't have a North yet, right?
No, they don't have a North.
Which I believe
North you could maybe consider even LA Live being the North because they went all the way down the street and built this beautiful, arena, and they held the E3 Coliseum in the Novo Theater, which is in the same area. So you could say that it literally stretched blocks this time around, which is cool.
Yeah, which I think E3 shouldn't be open.
Now that I see the way that not only the fans behaved, because okay, for example, the Novo Theater, they said that you would have to probably wait in line to get in, that you don't have to leave after an event is over. So then day 2, we went maybe 12:30ish because we all wanted to see Kojima, and Kojima's panel was around 4:30 or 5. He was like, you know what? No matter what, let's go sit in on a couple panels for the rest of the day, because by that time we had already, we had a better game plan on day 2. We went and we tackled Microsoft. We knocked out Crackdown 3. We knocked out Dragon Ball Fighters. We knocked out what else? I looked at Minecraft. I honestly I can't touch it. It's not for me. But point is, we were able to get into a couple games, but then it hit that 1 o'clock mark and we were shut down again. So we just decided to go straight to Coliseum, and not even like the respect to give fans a line in the shade when we're talking about we're in between 2 sets of tall buildings. They literally had the line for the Novo in the sun for these poor people, and we're already talking about 100, 150 people in line to try to get into this theater at that time. And then I went ahead and I asked someone that was fairly near the front of the line, hey, how long you been waiting there? And 2 hours.
So, it's be like San Diego Comic-Con.
Some of these people have been waiting since the day started. They didn't even go to the show floor on that day, and they were still waiting. And apparently the problem is no one left. Like, they went and sat down and they decided we're just gonna camp in the theater until we get to see what we want to see. And when Kojima's your guy at 5 o'clock, that creates a scheduling problem as far as what consumers want to see. If Kojima maybe is the front person and he's the first interview of the day, maybe you get that head-on traffic right in the beginning of the day. But maybe a lot of people leave afterwards too. Gives a chance for some people to see maybe some fan favorites, like Epic was on day 1, but Epic was led. It was curated by the Big Show, so that would have been fun to watch. It was a lot of cool things that they did. It was just not enough manpower, not enough resources to handle 68,000 people walking through the doors.
Yeah, the thing with other cons like Dragon Con, they clear out like for your very large panels or tracks that they clear out the entire thing, and then you have to reline up. But by that time, there's already a line forming, but the lines can't form until 1 hour before the actual track.
That would have made a lot more sense just from a traffic perspective. But I can also see how people get around that or loophole. Like having, like me, like I was trying to do this, which I'm not embarrassed to say, like we're trying to get as many appointments as possible. So my girlfriend would book one event and I would book the others, so we can at least get multiple tastes of things. And it worked out sometimes. It didn't really work out at all on the PlayStation app, just from the experience I told you about. But I can see where people would try to get around that, especially with the Novo, maybe booking a ticket here and then having a friend book a ticket for a later time. And let's say they were never interested, they just want to be on the show floor while you took all the tickets. I could see it happening still, but at least make it more difficult.
Yeah,
I think what was most frustrating was when we saw Nintendo's press area. Nintendo's press area looked like the open area I experienced in 2013 when Bayonetta was there. Meanwhile, Conan O'Brien's walking by and interviewing Bayonetta and having fun with that, and you're able to actually just watch that as you're waiting in line. And it's entertaining. There's just a sheer amount of people that wouldn't have allowed that this time, but they had pretty much the same setup as far as amounts of booths and amounts of games as we did as fans and industry people in the giant booth, which didn't make much sense. We had maybe 5 or 6 Pokken booths, 5 or 6 Odyssey booths. Even I wanted to see what FIFA looked like. I know EA didn't show up on the floor. They decided to do EA Play on the weekend, so they just weren't on the floor. Some games were still playable, like a Madden was in Microsoft booth, but having FIFA on the Switch is a unique thing. So I wanted to see that, and I saw the booth set up. It was like a little bush, and it had like the pillar and a setup there, but everything was empty. It was just a sign there that said FIFA.
Oh.
And nothing underneath. No one like
I think-
supervising the area. It was weird. It was bizarre.
Yeah, I think for this, they don't even need to hold a conference anymore. I think Nintendo and Devolver Digital did it right, where they pre-taped their conferences.
Oh yeah, I mean, Nintendo nailed it as far as being concise and just nailing it with the amounts of games, especially first party titles, which we'll cover in a bit.
Yeah,
And Devolver just it felt like they signed up Tim and Eric to direct that, because it was incredibly Adult Swimish of them.
yeah, but it was great. Devolver Digital just poked fun at all the other conferences.
Earliest access.
Yeah, and it wasn't really they just showed off the games that they had and like what 1 or 2 games that they were coming out with.
I mean, it was 16 minutes long,
Yeah,
but for the Eastern time zone, that was also 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm guessing they were just hoping for word of mouth to spread and the video to just like be seen, which now it's been seen I think about 4 million times on YouTube so far. So it's carrying there. So it's nice.
Yeah.
I see we have CJ actually. They just stopped.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hello.
CJ.
Hi,
okay.
guys.
You came in just the perfect time. We're just going to go into the games now.
So the show can start. Hello and welcome to episode.
Oh, okay. Let's mute that.
Say words that I don't allow on this show.
What's that?
You know.
Oh no, what just happened?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
What? Unmute me, Raul.
You are unmuted.
Oh.
I never muted you. All right.
Oh.
We're
I
gonna
said
go.
you don't do things that that I don't allow to be said on this show.
Oh.
All right, what are we talking about, guys?
Okay, we're just getting into the conferences. We're talking about EA first.
Moving on.
You're going to love my game, A Way Out. It is incredible, You can do everything. Well, not everything, but almost everything. I love that guy's enthusiasm. And A Way Out does look like a good game, but that's literally all I got from EA. Look, I'm a sports fan. Madden is going to have a story mode, but they're pretty much ripping off their brothers at FIFA. And FIFA's doing like a season 2 of their reality, story mode. Which, if you didn't like the first one, you're not definitely going to like the guy because it's the same guy. And then both of them have the fundamental problem of this is a fictional person that you're playing as. It's not you. You can't make you. You have nothing to do with it. So I can't connect with that.
That's a little dumb.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
that's a lot dumb.
Oh,
Well, what's the point of having a season mode if you can't make yourself in it?
Yeah, I guess they felt like they could provide more drama, which I actually could see it a little bit in FIFA. Um, it's just now that you're a supposed big shot in season two, it's just like everyone wants you. I don't.
And they're
You
also
can't.
trying to make RPG, like, from what I can understand. Like, so 9 times out of 10, you don't get to make your RPG character. So why would you make your sports ball character? And I say that because there's multiple sports games doing this now. So it's all sports ball now.
Which, if you
Sports
think
RPG.
sports ball is just a version of an RPG, isn't it? It's got stats.
Yeah,
It's
well,
probably
I mean,
easier to
that's
track, honestly. But I'll just leave it at this. I can see why they went this route because they have the money. They could hire real actors. Some of them are legit actors that have done several things in the past.
Yeah.
And then you also have to take into account what 2K did when Spike Lee did this career mode where you could create your own character. But I gotta tell you, it's also very jarring when you create someone that looks like me and has the cadence of a black guy. It doesn't. I can't connect. I can't. Like that definitely didn't make sense. So I can see why EA went this route. We'll see how the Madden one turns out. But the EA Play, even like before the conference, where they were having guys being interviewed for a story mode, none of these guys seem very bright at all, and I couldn't really gather much information from it. So I'll say for EA, A Way Out and Battlefront 2.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh, Battlefront 2 looks sick.
Oh.
Like,
Space battles. I hope dedicated space battles, right?
yeah. Yep, you are having dedicated dogfights like you did in Battlefront 2 OG.
Yeah, I got up to that point, and then they started really going into the FIFA, and I'm just like, I fell asleep.
Oh, and they brought in the guys with blazers too, which I do like their show, but they missed the high five. And then they talked about Need for Speed, and they brought that YouTuber on that now he's infamous because unfortunately, whatever script he was reading just probably didn't come up, and he freaked out. He's just like, and then people started clapping. He's like, I know it's cool, right? Like, what the hell?
Oh,
It was so
Yeah,
awkward. That poor guy. May he live in
I hate it when things go wrong at press conferences like that because, I mean, tech fails happen all the time. Mick, you and I, all three of us, work in tech. So we know, like, when tech goes wrong at the worst possible times. It just happens.
Hashtag when tech goes wrong.
yeah, when
We
tech
gotta push that.
in front of brand new teachers and the supers breathing down your neck. Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly. Or like when a CFO wants this thing, and for some reason, like none of your network drive will connect. Like none of this. It doesn't. It's the only. It's the what is it? The law, Murphy's law of technology. When it's the most important time for anything to go wrong, it's going to. So now that poor YouTube kid is going to be like ridiculed for the rest of his time, probably more so than like ones who deserve it. Not that I'm mentioning any PewDiePie names.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
It kind of goes back to what we were saying before CJ got on. Was like Nintendo and Devolver making pre-recorded conferences. That is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Display the games, cool, on your conferences or your pressers, cool, but get your news on a pre-recorded thing because that way it doesn't screw up. Like,
yeah, like Microsoft. We'll go right into Microsoft. We covered in depth last week, but let's just go over Xbox One X is Project Scorpio,
yeah.
which is
wow.
it's just a mid. What's it called?
It's the mid-gen refresh.
The refresh.
Yeah, it's the mid-gen refresh, which is fine. It's fine. Everybody be quiet. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's not going to be as bad as 3DS and new 3DS, hopefully.
No.
Because this is just
No,
4K.
here's my
It's
thing. I feel like I have Apple sensibilities. Shocker, because I work there and I have the products.
Fanboy. Oh, sorry.
But there was definitely something I could attach to there where they were explaining what was going on with the console and what they were trying to achieve. And there's something of an Apple aesthetic there with the way they built this thing. And even
Yeah.
going off to the side after the conference and seeing the little meeting that Major Nelson had with one of the main engineers, where he literally put it together in front of him and explained why this is happening and why this is happening. And to have all that firepower and that massive cooler inside the smallest package they've ever made is impressive. Um, I'm excited. I will upgrade. The last time I bought a Xbox was the Elite, so I am definitely already in that price range of paying the 500. But this is going to be a beast. This is probably going to win people over as far as third-party titles. Like, this will be the best place to play some of these games because they're going to look the best on an Xbox now.
Probably not going to perform better.
Yeah. At the same time, that should start with Microsoft themselves. And so when you're watching Jeff Keighley interview developers for Crackdown, and the question comes up for, yeah, right, 4K 60 frames a second. Oh, no, it's going to run at 30 frames. What?
Yeah, seriously. Get a better person doing those kind of press junkets like that. Like, seriously. Like, Crackdown had me sold. By the way, this is the first Xbox that I'm wanting to purchase since the original Xbox.
But
not the Xbox One X, because I don't have a 4K TV, so it's literally not going to do me any good. However,
yes.
Yeah, I'm going to get an Xbox One S. Probably Black Friday this year. But, I mean, it was kind of painful watching some of those interviews.
Really?
It's the same thing that we said when the Xbox One was released. It is painful sometimes watching that.
Yeah, they focused way too hard on the stats of the machine, especially when they already did the interview with Digital Foundry, and pretty much we already knew what was going on with this console. We really just needed to see the games. But in that respect, they nailed that. Like, it was just Xbox and Windows 10 exclusive. Stop! I can't handle it all.
Yeah, there was, oh my God, BioWare's, there was 42 new games that they have. And what was great is that a lot of them, I would say about what, like 75% of them coming out this year?
Yeah, and 22 of them, at least initial exclusives. Like that was the part when I could agree with like Angry Joe, where the language kind of got in the way of that conference. You were seeing several different ways of them presenting what was exclusive, and sometimes they just said Xbox One X exclusive, and sometimes they said that it was a full out exclusive, and then it got weird. You know, it felt like they kept changing the phrasing from one game to another.
Yeah.
So, I can tell already that half of those games are going to be like the Tomb Raiders of the world. They're going to have their 6 months or maybe even a month like inside and then not be exclusive anymore. But I do give them credit for bringing, PlayerUnknown, bringing Battlegrounds to a console.
Which that video they showed is not a typical match. Trust me, I've seen it.
No, it is not.
It's not, but I still respect that they were the first to bring the genre now to console. That's awesome.
The Survivor Deathmatch.
Yes. They did take a huge shot in the middle of that conference with Minecraft and the 4K texture pack by showing every console except the PS4, even though later on you do find out that PS4 is unified in that ecosystem. So that was interesting.
So are you going to be able to cross-platform with Minecraft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was a major announcement. It doesn't matter if you have an iPhone, doesn't matter if you have an Android, you can be playing with someone that has an Xbox One or PlayStation 4 or a Switch.
Yes.
Which would be crazy. Which, it's not on the Switch yet, right?
Yeah, it is. It came out last month.
Okay.
Near the end.
Oh, oh my God. I've got the same relationship with Minecraft. It's like one of those games where it's like, oh, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to grow a farm. I'm just going to build a house. We build a glass house. 2 weeks later.
What year is it?
I built the Death Star by accident.
Yeah, and they also showed off BioWare's new IP, Anthem.
Oh yeah, everyone was hyped. That was actually something we should have said for EA, at least to their credit, that they were gonna hold that game off for Microsoft. Now, does that mean it's gonna be exclusive or not? Yet to be seen, but that bodes well.
It's probably part of the Origin.
It's almost like
What?
that thing though that Sony does too with Call of Duty, where they get to show it on their presentation, but Microsoft doesn't. So Microsoft needs that, even though it's an illusion of sorts. They still need it, and that game looks awesome. I feel like everyone has an Iron Man suit in the game and are complete badasses, and you get that Destiny vibe as well.
Oh yeah. The thing is, another thing. Oh my god, I just went blank. I didn't hear anything from Origin.
For EA?
Yeah, for EA, I didn't hear.
I mean,
It was knocked out during that point, but usually they're like EA Origin is our platform for PC.
Can we talk about the pirate game, please? The game that sold me on buying a freaking Xbox.
it really does for you?
Speaking of exclusives, this got me.
Sea of Thieves, right?
For some reason, this ridiculously awesome game got me. And I looked at Rachel and I'm like, I need an Xbox. I need to play this game. I don't know why, but for some reason it stuck to me, and that's what sold me. Between that and, strangely enough, being able to play my freaking Xbox original games.
Yes, backwards compatibility, backwards.
Backwards.
Yeah,
backwards.
Xbox One.
Xbox One.
The original Xbox, and the very first game that they showed off was Crimson Skies Road. Was it Road Revenge?
I fist pumped when I saw that. I love that game.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my God.
I screamed out loud, and I almost dove into my big gray box where all my OG Xbox games are, and I about grabbed it out of there.
And it's almost like Ace Combat 7 will come out, and I'm sure it's going to be good.
Don't care.
But I don't care. I'd rather play Crimson Skies.
Exactly. And it's going to look amazing.
Yes.
Wait, it's not a remake.
No, they are upscaling everything. Same thing that they did with Xbox 360 stuff. Like, everything gets upscaled.
Oh, okay.
To a point where in some games it doesn't even look the same anymore.
Huh.
Which is another benefit of getting the X.
Yeah, but again, I don't have a 4K, so it's not going to do me a single thing.
Yeah, I mean,
I know you said that before. I didn't get to say anything back, but that's not necessarily true either. They were talking about, as far as HDR, even if you have HDR 1080p, television, or, just in general 1080p television, your visuals are going to be vastly improved by having the X. So it's not necessarily true. I kind of want to see more comparisons on how that looks, but I have a feeling that we won't get them in time to make that decision.
They said that about the PS4 Pro as well. Like, the comparisons on my TV just aren't the same. Like, it's not worth the cost for me to do it personally.
No, I get it.
Because I had a friend of mine bring over his PS4 Pro, and I just didn't see a large enough difference when I was playing. Was Final Fantasy 15, and just didn't do it for me.
Okay.
I mean, that's just me personally. I am stoked that these kind of advancements are happening before I get hate for being, rotting on technology like I've been getting lately for some reason. No, I'm stoked that they're happening. I just don't, for my use case, it's not for me. But by all means, if your use case says, hey, I have a badass freaking TV that this is going to look freaking awesome on, do it. Do it, and love every single second of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the TV, if you got one on the cheap, or if you're like one of those people that you need the 4K TV, which now you can get one for under $1,000, a really
or
good
even
one.
if you have a big 1080p TV, which when they do the upscaling with the improved graphics, it's going to make it look better. Sweet, definitely.
What do you think? Going on from Microsoft, Bethesda, now that I remember, it had a pre-recorded. The whole thing was pre-recorded, wasn't it?
Yep. The entire thing was pre-recorded. I still want that song.
So
I
they
want the
showed off
Bethesda license.
2 games that you can't play because it's VR: Doom and Fallout.
Oh. I'm stoked about Doom VFR. I can't wait to see how that's going to work. I can't play it because I don't feel like getting sick, but I am excited to see how it will work. I'm less excited to see how Fallout and Skyrim work. Those are not fast paced enough to really jump out at me, in my opinion.
Talking about Skyrim, amiibo support on the Switch.
3 weeks ago, man, I want to buy Skyrim again, but buying $60 on Skyrim for the 4th time, I don't know. Amiibo support, and you get the freaking Master Sword. God, fine. Shut up and take my money.
Yeah, the fact that you can dress up as Link, you get the full suit, the Master Sword, the shield, and it's just like, so it's pretty much what everyone's been saying about Breath of the Wild. It's Skyrim.
Yeah.
Zelda. Now you can
You
actually
call
play.
Breath of the Wild Skyrim with Zelda? No, fools.
All right. Elder Scrolls Online, Morrowind.
Whee! So good. Throw birds.
Oh yeah, you're playing that on stream earlier, right?
Yeah, you throw birds at people. It's the bird throwing game simulator that nobody knew that they needed, but they needed it. Go roll your warden and throw birds at people. It's such a good game, guys. Seriously, ESO is really, really, really good right now.
There's another game on here, but I don't know where I put it.
Getting a new. I'm not sure if it's a expansion for Dishonored, but Dishonored Death of the Stranger.
Yes.
Yeah, there is that.
I'm not sure if it's an expansion, DLC, or what. The pre-orders have it sold separately. So Dishonored 2.5?
Actually, that's what I wanted to say. Those VR versions of those games for Skyrim and Doom are separate versions of what should be a part of the full price game that you already paid for.
Yeah.
But on Steam, they're separate pre-orders, which means they're separate games, which means fuck that. Why? Why are they doing this to us?
Seriously.
I don't agree with it at all. I gotta tell you, Bethesda really, even I guess outside of Wolfenstein, I could care less what they came out with.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Everything else felt very ham-fisted.
Wolfenstein looks great. Like I said, The Death of the Stranger, like Dishonored is one of my favorite games of all time. Dishonored 2 did everything better. Like, I'm stoked for it, but I'm still a little confused as to what it is. Like, once I get that, I think I'll be a lot more excited for it. But, I mean, as it stands right now, I don't know. I don't know anything about it, and that kind of bothers me.
So the only 2 sequels that they showed, new games, was Evil Within and Wolfenstein 2.
Yep.
Which the first Wolfenstein was amazing.
Did you guys see the ridiculous backlash for Wolfenstein?
Yeah, well, I expected that.
It's so dumb. No, like, all right, here we go, you guys. Sorry to shine my political spotlight on things a little bit. I apologize, but real Nazis are angry that we're killing Nazis in a video game.
Well, yeah, there's the same group that was mad about Far Cry 5.
Yeah. Social justice warrior wet dream. Black people fighting against whites was one of the things that I saw. I'm like, oh, jeez, seriously.
It's just like, especially the Nazi part. Like, I feel like, come on, like we definitely need a company to at least set a reminder of how bad it could have been. So I appreciate these type of titles. I even appreciate the ones that didn't work out so well. But like this is just gonna be fun. The game is gonna be fun.
It looks ridiculous and awesome. Like, I cannot wait to play this.
Now, like, Evil Within also looks, to its credit, really nice.
Yeah.
Like, as a psychological thriller, but I'm not sure as far as gameplay how that's supposed to work. And as far as the first Evil Within, that's where like I drew my line. I couldn't go on in that game past first hour because gameplay is bad in that game. I can't get past it. So
The thing now is that you can't really scare people. Well, you can with jump scares, but then they just like, oh, it's just a jump scare game. You really
Yeah,
have
Five Nights at Freddy's and that has really gotten people almost completely numb to jump scares. Some people still get it, but I mean, as a rule, like most people are, and myself included. Like since I played through Five Nights at Freddy's on the stream, and spoiler alert, a bunch of that was amped up because I was on a stream. Sorry guys, it's an act. It happens. I've become a lot less affected by jump scares in general.
Yeah, you need something like, oh, what was the name of
I want to sweat. I want to have my heart beating out of my chest because I am genuinely afraid. And that is not just a quick, hey, good fear does not just happen and go away. Like good fear stays with you. And that's what I want out of a horror game. Like
Darkness, GameCube.
Yeah, I want to be genuinely, desperately afraid. And like very few games do that for me. So
About Amnesia, the Descent.
I hadn't played that yet. Slender though, which similar game that had me freaking out. Like
Yeah.
Slender is genuinely frightening.
Did you see anything that the PC gaming show?
I did not catch it. No.
Yeah, I saw bits of it, and it's just like, we know you're still there, PC, but it's like, and no one really like says, oh, also coming out for PC. Microsoft does because it's part of their Windows 1 environment.
The thing is PC games like get a lot of love at like Gamescom and things like that. E3 has pretty much always been console based, so like it feels like it's always shoved in there where it doesn't need to be. Like Gamescom and things like WWDC and like things like that focus a lot on PC, which is great, but it always feels weirdly tacked on for E3.
Every other category on IGN had 10, 12 games for game of the year. Sports game of E3, fighting game of the E3, and then PC literally had 4 games. Like they don't have anything. Like, I mean,
yes, I love my PC gaming. I play PC gaming more than I play other systems. However, it's because like I don't have an Xbox, so I can get the Xbox games that I want on PC, or like games that I could play on the PlayStation 4. Like I can play them while Rachel's back there playing God Wars. Like it's.
Oh, I've got one thing about the PC show. What's the name of that company? The Groove, the one that's making Advanced Wars for the PC.
Oh yeah.
Chuckle. They did show off indie titles. They did show off indie titles because some of them do need help, and some of the times you have a silent hit, and then everyone's playing it.
Player Unknown Battlegrounds.
Which his name is
freaking nowhere.
Yeah, it just started popping up on my stream. It's like, what is this game? Oh, it's pretty much DayZ, but
it's DayZ. Better. Well, I mean, it started off as a DayZ mod, so DayZ Arma. And
now, well, yeah, it's one of those. It originally started with Arma and the DayZ mod, the hyper realistic army shooter, and then it slowly evolved into Player Unknown Battlegrounds, which is a 100-player, sometimes fewer, depending if someone disconnects. Battle Royale with you got to pick up guns, you got to pick up ammo.
Yep, you start off with nothing.
Yeah, you start off naked.
Well, not closed. You start off closed. We're not talking about Conan Exiles here, by the way, coming to Xbox One.
Man. God, you know what? That's crazy. There were so many games in that Microsoft presentation. Completely forgot about that game.
Yeah.
Cuphead? Oh my god, Cuphead.
Yeah, Cuphead.
Finally a date.
I never heard of it before, like the show, but that words. Once I started looking into it, the more and more I need that game in my life.
It's been at E3 for the past, what would you say, Miguel? Like
3
4
years, yeah.
Yeah, but like my interest in Xbox has been limited to none, especially like Xbox killed my desire to do anything with them when they announced that Killer Instinct was pay to get all of your characters.
Yeah, they kind of hiccup on that one.
And like that stuck, just like the pirate game sticking with me in a good way, that stuck with me in a way bad way, and like I've not actually really cared too much about the Microsoft presentations since.
All right, let's talk about probably the flashiest one that I saw there. Ubisoft.
They won E3. Hands down.
Yeah,
They won.
no.
Right off the bat, a crossover with a giant first-party developer
Yeah, I am super stoked for
and
this
rabbits.
game. Yeah.
I mean,
Rabbits was the before Minions, right?
Yes. This is Mario versus XCOM Rabbits. I freaking love it.
Oh, have you followed the Peach Rabbit Instagram yet?
Yes.
that exists already?
Yes.
Oh no.
By the way, that sold me on the game. Seeing the Peach Rabbit and all of her sass like towards actual Peach, I'm like, yep, this is what I need in my life, apparently.
All the terrible comments I've heard about that Peach already.
Oh,
The
No.
Rule 34 Peach Rabbit. You know what happens already.
No,
yeah.
no.
For science, incognito tab, roll for Peach Rabbit. I had to make sure I was in incognito. Rabbit, rule 34. Here we go.
Oh no.
No.
If you're an adult, click here, and you're okay with that. Click. Oh, yep. There. Yeah. There.
There it is.
Yes. All right. I'm getting off that because that is super creepy.
What's incredible about that game is that it really doesn't add anything new from the Mario universe, except that they kind of remastered like his ability. Like a bullet bill is now a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty sure every power up you've ever seen in a Mario game is now in the form of some type of gun in that game.
Yeah.
So
'cause
that's
I
gonna
mean,
be interesting.
Literally XCOM. Like it's let's not even pretend that it isn't. It's XCOM with a Mario skin. That
And
being
no
said,
permadeath. Thank God.
I freaking love XCOM. So
Who makes XCOM?
a company
2K.
Is it 2K?
they publish it.
I think Ubisoft is the best company for Nintendo to team up with.
For this game,
For
yeah.
Axis Games.
I mean,
Firaxis Games, Micropose, Hasbro Interactive. 2K publishes it.
Okay. And then their big game, Assassin's Creed Origin.
This looks sick.
it
Looks
looks
like a pre everything, right?
but it looks sick because I saw it 3 times before it ended up in the Ubisoft conference, and then Ubisoft, that owns the title, that made the title, is playing outside on a 21-inch monitor
Yeah.
in the blazing sunlight, so you can't see anything. It's like, well, thank God we saw this on Xbox already, and even like before that in like demos and leaked footage, because that was like their worst point of that conference was like, what are we doing? Luckily, they kind of moved away from that pretty fast, and even the guy was saying, "I know it's really bright out here, but these visuals are phenomenal." Like, we
You have to
can't
trust
tell,
me, you
dude.
guys. You know, we also trusted you on Assassin's Creed Unity, and that burned the hell out of us.
Yeah, but they took a year break off, a year off.
Unity. Yeah, Unity. Unity was the bad one. Syndicate's the good one.
South Park release date this year.
Yay.
I mean, I'll believe it when I see it at this point, because that's not the first time we've gotten a date for this game.
True.
But if it comes out, it's gonna be great. I need to see it. Not to be outdone, by the way, is that phone destroyer that showed up later on in the conference. That actually looks like something I actually will put time into. It's like a South Park card game on your phone.
Oh no, my phone is already shivering from that.
But it
Yeah,
looks like it's gonna be fun.
It does.
Far Cry 5 kind of looks like something cross between I want to say like Red Dawn and Jonestown.
Yeah.
Offending the white nationalists and everybody. Far Cry 5.
Right.
It's pretty much the same argument, honestly, that we just had.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went to that because I had just watched the documentary like yesterday of it. So
Yeah, Far Cry 5 looks cool.
which is just Far Cry 4 in a different setting, isn't it?
I mean,
Well, you have different types of teammates that you're going to be able to recruit and help you on missions, which wasn't totally like a Far Cry 4 thing. But I just need to see how that works. If you're being able to recruit all your team members to work on it, like in that mission, and the direction I've gotten from watching some gameplay reveals, sometimes the people were just with the dog. So are they going to be with the dog, the sniper, and the guy on the plane, or how's that going to work?
nope, we're fallouting this. You only get the dog.
At least I get that ice ray gun thing. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, Far Cry has some of the coolest guns. Like,
I just want to see how far they take it, as far as like how crazy is this church cult thing gonna be?
yeah, give me just flat out insane. Like
Like, is it gonna be Outlast 2 levels of crazy family insane, or is it gonna be a little bit off of that?
yeah, give me Outlast, give me Resident Evil, like give me just flat out insane. Like I don't know if they will though. Far Cry is not really known for that level of like I don't want to say immersion because that's not the right word. I don't know. There's a word I'm looking for, but I can't think of it.
Speaking of, I don't know, The Crew 2.
Yay! That game that I still have for free on my PlayStation that I never installed. Woo!
What's The Crew? Is it kind of like
For speed.
oh, is it
No, I wouldn't even say that. It's more like Forza
It's
Horizon. It's
Oh.
like Forza Horizon. They give you like a playground and you can race. Now, the cool thing about it is that they're letting you go from boats to planes to cars. So, like, I feel like at least they're providing the variety that some of the other racing games aren't giving you. But how that comes into play, playing online or having something competitive happen, I don't see it. So it's yet to be seen.
I mean, I have to pick and choose my racing games, and this is definitely not going to be one of them.
so we had VR Transference.
Oh, hold on a second. Oh, okay. You know what? Yeah, well, let's talk about that. Elijah Wood, right?
Yes.
Like,
It's the one where like everyone's like a
hello?
Hello? Everyone's a... We're going to pretend we're going to put words in his mouth. Everyone's a chicken nugget.
I mean, that came really, I mean, the trailer looked interesting, but I couldn't grab much information from it.
Yeah.
Now, that it has Elijah Wood's star power,
Quote unquote.
can't even call that star power anymore,
He
but
doesn't have a lot of star power anymore. I mean, he was big because Lord of the Rings, but
yeah,
I mean,
he peaked there, and then like 2 years later, he killed his own star power with his character in Sin City.
yeah, that train wreck. Yeah, that was, and then kind of just going with like the Willard thing where he was the crazy guy with the dog, and that show's great though. But when you go from one of the biggest movies ever made to a crazy guy with a dog, you're a little done there, Elijah.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll keep an eye on it because I something to be said about this conference in general is like VR went nowhere in this conference.
Surprisingly, like yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. Like even with Sony would put freaking too long on VR, but even then, like it didn't do much.
Yeah, with stuff like platformers and stuff, we'll cover it in a minute. You know what was awesome And the reason I think Ubisoft won the conference was for the next couple things we're going to talk about. But Starlink, that Starlink game has potential not only as a collectible game, but if it's going to be like a living, breathing world, that has massive potential.
Yeah, but potential is a dirty word in today's gaming society. Because it can't be a Gamer Geeks without us mentioning No Man's Sky.
Yeah, any kind of space game is just gonna be like, oh, is this gonna be the next No Man's Sky?
Well, even then, it's still the dreaded P word, potential. Like potential is a dirty word now.
Well, just don't over.
Your camera's dead, by the way, Ro. There you go.
It's coming. Just don't overpromise. Like he was toting it like it's like the second coming.
I don't know. I just feel like now that like we're losing a lot of those collectible style games, especially with Disney Infinity kind of like bowing out.
Oh,
Like I feel like this could be the next gen of stuff. I want to see how it would feel attaching those extra weapons and stuff. How fast does it translate to you seeing it on the screen? All those type of things, as far as like load times and stuff, will be super important. But in the end, it's also one of those genres that doesn't really exist. This is why we're excited for stuff like Crimson Skies coming back, because outside of Ace Combat, once again, what the hell do you have to do as far as space shooters?
yeah.
I've been dying for stuff to come back in that genre. God, I can't remember the name right now, but there was games on PS1 even that I would like to see come back that haven't come back in that space shooter genre. So this fills that like emotional gap for me.
Panzer Dragoon, I think that was the name of it.
No, it's a. I mean, that is kind of that, but it's a little different too.
No. Which is the other one? Which is the dragon? The rail-on shooter with? Is it Legacy?
Of the
Yes,
dragon? Are you talking about where you're riding a dragon on rails?
Yes, Dragon on Rails.
Yeah, that's Panzer Dragoon.
I had that for the original Xbox, and it was amazing. I freaking loved that game.
Yeah, Panzer Dragoon Orta is still one of my favorite games on the Xbox One. I hope that's in the Xbox backwards compatibility thing.
Oh,
I'm gonna be very upset if it's not.
Colony Wars. God, what's wrong?
There we
with me?
go. That's a good game.
I would love for that to come back in VR and just like wipe the floor with my soul, but I don't know if that's ever happening.
Probably not. That game seems that doesn't seem to be coming back. That'd be kind of cool to see some of those come back, but yeah.
Well, I'll deal with Starlink for now then.
There you go.
But you know what's better than having like a black flag too?
What's that?
Skull and Bones.
This game looks rad too.
Yeah. Dude.
I don't know what it is about pirate games, but I really want to play a pirate game. Apparently,
It took
isn't it?
it honestly it took all the things that Sea of Thieves like kind of irked me on, especially like the cartoony feel of Sea of Thieves.
loved that.
I like the exploration of all that, and there is an aesthetic for that I do appreciate, but like it felt more visceral, more real when you watch Skull and Bones. I was like, I want to take down a ship.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, it does. It definitely takes the best parts of Black Flag and just makes it a game, and that's rad.
Oh, and I want to see all the game modes they have. I could definitely see this being another title, kind of like For Honor.
Yeah, I heard.
Kind
I've
of loses
heard a
steam.
lot of For Honor references, which could be good or bad, because For Honor had a lot of hype going into it too, and didn't do so great.
And for a game that's moving on water, you kind of need your netcode to be perfect.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, this game has to be fluid, and I'm not just saying that as a pop. Like,
Well, the thing with For Honor is because they DLC the hell out of their players.
yeah,
Yeah, they well, no, I don't remember the exact calculations, but it was something crazy, like pretty much to the point where you could never unlock everything unless you bought something to unlock
It was
everything.
2 to 3 years.
Yeah, and I mean, the game was never intended to last that long.
Yeah, and it wasn't that great of a game anyway. I rented it from Redbox, and like, I was satisfied for the 2 days that I rented it for, and I never think about picking it up again.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, that's what usually happens with like those games that are like very revolutionary.
Yeah, and PvP like PvP based games like that generally have a low lifespan for me personally. I mean, that's the reason why I didn't really care for Battlefront 1 that much.
Yeah, I have friends that still play Battlefield 1 and they're crazy about it, but it's just not my type of game. I want story in my game.
Yeah.
That's why I love Overwatch.
Yes.
You have story in my first person shooter, which is in my team based first person shooter, which is kind of difficult to do.
And I mean, at the very least, the characters are very, very lovable in
Yes.
Overwatch, where I can't get attached to a random Viking. Like, there was no name of the character, there was no backstory.
Absolutely.
These are things that would have made the game better, and maybe if they do 402, they look into that. And then the story that they were selling in the game never really came to life, you know?
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
hopefully Skull and
story
Bones
mode-
doesn't suffer from that.
Yeah. I mean, when your quote unquote story mode is a bunch of tutorials, essentially, like, yeah.
And then
Oh, go ahead.
oh no, someone seems to be trying to draw our attention to something. This is Beyond Good and Evil.
Oh, I cried. Not, and I wasn't going to, but then when the developer got on stage and he's like holding back tears and it's like, God, I waited so long. There's so many random screenshots. They had the cover of Game Informer, I think twice, with just like art of Jade, and it never happened. And then now this came out of nowhere. From the moment you saw the atmosphere, you're like, this is Beyond Good and Evil, and you're just waiting for the confirmation.
Or
You're
the
just waiting
letdown when it wasn't. Like,
Oh God, no! But then I was just like, for anyone that's played Beyond Good and Evil and watching that trailer, right about where you see this pig mafioso boss guy, like you're like, this is it.
yeah, I was so stoked to get to see this come out.
Yeah, I got it during the free Ubisoft. I have not gotten a chance to play it.
It is such a great game.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even good. It is great.
It's on Xbox backwards compatibility, so you can get the HD version on the Xbox 360 if you need to. I know it's on Steam. It's never more than $4.99 or $9.99 nowadays.
I played this for
Play that game.
well, the system that I owned it on was the GameCube.
I mean, yeah. In which case, you could probably find it for really cheap because the game's been made over and over again. But it is definitely one of those gems that like it shouldn't be too far down your backlog if you have it on your backlog.
Absolutely.
All right.
Especially since the second one is coming out. Like, there's no reason.
Yeah, and this one, I'm thinking is actually more of a prequel.
Yes.
I have very strange feelings for the captain with the green eyes. That's probably Jade's mom. I'm just gonna say it now and hope it's right because that would be amazingly emotional. But I mean, we'll see. But this is an excellent first step, by far, top 2-3 trailers of E3.
Yeah,
Easily.
I will give you that. Like, yeah, this was hype. Like, it personified.
And
it's
it
the
was
thing that, like, nobody knew we needed it until it just came across. And man,
it was just one of those beautiful surprises, you know? Like we already knew about Mario and Rabbids.
Yeah.
Like we already knew like the leak happened, but we didn't know what type of game. So the game itself was a surprise. And then Skull and Bones, scratched this itch out of nowhere that you didn't know you needed. But now you want to go back and play Black Flag for sure. but you
Yeah,
definitely
right.
want to see what this ends up being. And then
I
this
guess
was
one
just
of our-
like
It's a pretty
the cherry.
common Assassin's Creed, so it's not a bad game if you want to scratch that itch before Skull and Bones comes out. Black Flag's actually pretty good, so
Just for the atmosphere, to hear your crew sing and stuff like that. All that stuff was what made that game enjoyable.
yeah. I mean, and Connor, no, he was 3. Frick, the dude, I forget his name, but he was actually a pretty good character.
I forgot his name, but I agree.
I didn't say he was memorable. I said he was good.
Yeah.
He's no Desmond, but
Oh no. Well,
he's
there's only
no
one
Altair.
But you know what? I think we should talk about Sony.
Do we have to? Apparently, I'm in the minority of hating Sony's press conference.
Yes,
You're not in the minority.
Okay, I'm the minority in my friends, apparently, who just hated Sony's press conference.
All right. They started off with Uncharted: The Lost Legacy.
Yay, more Uncharted. Boo, no more Nathan Drake.
And now, like, as opposed to the first trailer of the game that showed a cohesion between both female protagonists, now this looks like more standoffish. So, kind of confused. Like,
Yeah.
what is this about now? When does that cohesion happen, or did you just show me a trailer after showing me the middle of the game last time?
Yeah,
You know,
right.
Right.
Yet to be seen, I guess.
Horizon.
Horizon Zero Dawn having an expansion is good, but not
Good.
something you would expect to see at E3 as like one of the first announcements. I almost would have preferred to see this at the end, almost like.
Yeah.
By the way, one last thing, and then make it that's coming out soon, if not like very soon, if not
I mean,
today.
so it's something at least.
Yeah, and I mean it's definitely not showing the expansion and showing the small bits of information we were presented with didn't hit home the way the initial game's trailer hit home last year.
No, it did not at all. And I'm super excited for it. Like,
I mean,
Horizon Zero Dawn is a fantastic, near perfect game.
this would be game of the year if it were not for Breath of the Wild.
And Persona 5. But yes. By the way, I think I might have Persona 5 be my game of the year so far.
I actually got back into Persona. Like, I just hardcore played it Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday. I'm just entering the 3rd palace.
The Piggy Palace?
Yes.
Piggy Palace is fun. I like Piggy Palace.
I'm at the point where I need to lure out 2 monsters to get a key.
Yeah.
2 to get a key.
Piggy Palace is still one of my favorite dungeons in the game.
Yeah. And
It's such a good aesthetic.
in there. I enjoy it. But yeah, the first time that first time that you unlock a certain person's persona.
Yeah, Queen. We can call them by their
Codenames.
yeah, code names.
I got beat pretty hard, and then I just had to like, oh yeah, that's right. I have items in this game.
Yeah.
You have item.
If you don't practice the defend and attack and items, yeah, you get the floor wipe with you pretty regularly.
Yeah, I mean, you just like you get your buffs, you get your debuffs, heal up with items. You don't necessarily have to always use your SP powers.
Yeah. By the way, I'm still a little upset we didn't get any information at all, like any kind of persona anything.
I'm surprised
that made me a little upset.
From The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Last of Us, they showed us a trailer last year and nothing.
Yeah, that was an E3 though. That was what was it called? PSX? Was it?
Yeah, we do have a Gamescom coming up next month too.
I think you'll see maybe another thing at Tokyo Game Show, if anything.
Yeah, you do have Gamescom and TGS are coming up in August, so you have another opportunity for some big news there. Us Bloodborne are really hoping for Bloodborne 2 at Gamescom.
And then you have talking about Last of Us. the Sons of Anarchy cross with Last of Us.
Yeah.
Days Gone. Which, okay,
Weird.
the trailer
Yeah.
seemed like it was kind of like a zombie horde mode. Like a zombie horde.
It feels. It also like I don't know if I want to call it.
The first trailer, the one they showed last year, where he's like running through and he's just like this mass horde of zombies chasing him.
I feel like that game.
more Dying Light.
I feel like this game is trying not to be Dead Rising, but with a zombie horde game, Dead Rising works.
Yeah.
And in this game, they like you said, yeah, it kind of mixed the Walking Dead because you got human on human brutality happening with him getting clotheslined like that. But then right after that, it just seemed like he's too smart to get caught by a trap like that to then set a trap like he did right after, and then to blow up this fence and all the zombies run right by him like a horde. For him to literally trail right behind them and not get caught in a way, not get caught out of like position. It like lots of that. It's too scripted. It doesn't make enough sense for me. Like
Yeah, it did seem like a level of scripting held for like Metal Gear Solid games where it makes sense because your protagonist is a special forces badass cybernetic ninja.
Nanomachine.
yeah, pretty much. And then the zombie bear at the end. I don't know what that means. Like this is the stuff I didn't understand. Like, is it serious or is it playful? Because zombie bear seems to say playful, but no.
Yeah. And exactly, yeah, you have to devote yourself either way. Like there's like going for jeez, hold on. Okay, not gonna sneeze, not gonna do it.
Bless you, CJ.
Dying Light is like completely devoid of humor, and that's fine for that kind of game. Whereas Dead Rising and Dead Island are both pretty full of it, which works for those. But you have to dedicate one way or the other. Like
You get Spider-Man 1 and 2.
yeah, exactly.
Detroit Become Human, which kind of reminds me of Blade Runner in a way.
I feel like it's Blade Runner meets Infamous.
Yeah.
Oh, but so we got to the panel, and the panel revolved around a scene of the protagonist deciding how he wants to go about freeing his robot compatriots that are being sold in a shop. And so you can just disable the alarm and walk through the door in some instances. In this other instance, he disabled the alarm and drove a truck straight through the door because, hey, no alarm, right? And then
Seems like something I would do.
yeah. From that point, this character, he can just touch other robots and bring him to the dark side, so to speak, as far as like being woke.
Yeah.
And so he's recruiting this army to fight this war, so to speak.
And
But then
like Watch Dogs.
the funny thing is the developer said, hey, do you want me to be violent about this or do you want me to be like a pacifist? And he's walking over to the window. Do I smash the window or graffiti it? And we're all like, yeah, let's graffiti it. Let's see how that looks. It was really awesome because they pretty much created this like digital artwork that wasn't exactly on the glass, but it was like covering right above it.
Cool.
So it looked really cool. You could actually pick your emblem, like what you want your like coat of arms to be for this revolutionary group, and
Nifty.
even down to the phrases, like what type of phrase do you want to have on the window, as far as give me liberty or give me death type of stuff. So that was cool. But then it was a pacifist action. I was like, huh. Well, I just crashed a truck through a window, but now we're talking about a morality system after the fact. So it felt a little disjointed there. So then we're like, you know what, just go full violence. He goes full violent. He starts setting off car alarms and actually throwing like Molotov cocktails at the cars, flipping them over. And then they climb up to the top of the building across from the plaza and bring this banner down by slamming two stakes into the corners of the building. And it just presents this big digital, coat of arms. It all looked really cool. And then you see the consequences of those actions. And so, inevitably, because they were being violent, cops open fire on them, and somebody dies. Not somebody important, but like one of the people they saved ends up dying trying to.
But definitely somebody.
And so the demo ends with the gun being handed to him as the two cops were apprehended by the other dozen, robots that were freed, and he's just pointing the gun at them. Is that a choice now too, or because you were violent, your choice automatically is to fire that weapon? Those are the type of things I want to have choices in that I didn't get to see. So it's almost like, oh, it wasn't enough, but it was pretty cool too. I'll tell you what, for sure, this is definitely more of a game that feels like Heavy Rain as far as like that refreshing sensation of being able to do stuff versus what their sequel was. I can't even remember the title of the game. Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah.
Bless Ellen Page, but that game was terrible. And this doesn't feel like that at all, so that's going to be good.
Well, that's good.
We had Monster Hunter World.
Yay!
This was the other panel I sat on.
Yeah.
I was so happy when I called this one correct, by the way. I was so ridiculously happy. I'm like, this looks a lot like Monster Hunter. It can't be Monster Hunter. That's a Nintendo thing. Wait, why is that? That's definitely a Monster Hunter monster, but Nintendo. But Monster Hunter. Oh my god, it's Monster Hunter.
So this is a MMO for Monster Hunter? Or is it all into like the Ark kind of type of game?
It's going to have a mix they had a single player demo and a multiplayer demo. We sat in on the single player demo, and pretty much what you saw in that trailer is what happened. So even though they were throwing out, these phrases like, let's see how we can use this environment. That's what they kept touting during the demo. And we even had the creative director of the game demoing it for us, which apparently we were one of the only groups to get that experience, which was nice. But he did end up going through the same script as most other experiences I heard of, especially from other, friends that went to the event and got into different sessions. So there wasn't too much there that you saw that was totally different from the demo itself in the conference. But what I can say is that the environments are totally destructible in a way I haven't seen in Monster Hunter before. And I think that's really cool. Like, we're talking about whole like sets of trees being knocked down, even while you're on them, getting knocked down as a result. It feels like your hunter is pretty OP too, where he can get flung off, but immediately repels back, almost like Spider-Man, right onto the beast and keeps, fighting. And that's the type of stuff I want to see. Like, it felt a little easy, and it felt like because they were drawing it out to show all the environmental stuff, that it made it hard, almost as if on purpose. But I wasn't getting that sense of difficulty, so to speak. So I want to see how that actually feels when you get to play it, which unfortunately is a chance.
So it seems like Capcom needs money, so they've teamed up with Marvel to bring us Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
But didn't pay anybody to do proper art.
Oh god, I gotta send you guys this photo. Maybe you can put it up on your Twitter. So the stage where they're having the event, you have your big baddie sitting in a nice throne, and then you have the TV over the top, and you have one person waiting in line for one side and one person waiting in line for the other side, where you're pretty much given an arcade stick in this whole demo, and then your demo's being played to the entire crowd. That was awesome. What wasn't awesome, it was the fact that when you see this photo, you realize that despite Big Baddie sitting on the throne, it's almost like the equivalent of two legs are being spread out, like spread eagle around this throne. So I don't know who designed that, but it was immediately apparent that looked like legs, and it looked hilarious to me. Because now the Big Baddie looks like a big dick. I love how this game looks. I love Marvel vs. Capcom, but it got overshadowed by Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah, it did.
And I don't know how they're going to recover from that. Or the fact
Getting a
that
better
Injustice
art
2,
direction. Those characters look bad.
yes, Injustice 2, as far as character design and being your direct competitor in the comic sense as well, like they need to work on that. And I don't know how they're going to do that because Injustice 2's really nailed everything for a game that's out already and is not only your direct competitor as far as DC versus Marvel, but also in the fighting genre with you. You need to step your game up. Like fighting actually has had a renaissance of sorts since Mortal Kombat 8, and this has kind of made it even worse. There's just an influx of fighting games now.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat X really brought in a new, and Injustice 1 and Mortal Kombat X really brought in a new, like, what we had back in the 90s of fighting games, and I freaking love it.
Talking about fighting, we have God of War.
Yay, Norse gods!
Yes. And I was talking to CJ during the Sony one. Is like that's the world serpent, the one that brings around Ragnarok, the end of Norse mythology. So I wonder if
we're getting one game and then the world ends.
Well, maybe.
Depends on how fast I can kill it and shove my dick into it.
Talking about the world ending, Destiny 2. They had already shown off a lot of this earlier.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the demo last month was good, and then like it left not much to be desired as far as, you know, what am I going to see now? You know, I watched some of the people play because let's be honest, at 12 o'clock, the lines were capped at Activision. There was no way to get into that game. That game had more hype than the first time around, which is kind of astounding.
Love it that it's going to be on PC, but it's going to have like a 1 or 2 month exclusive on the consoles.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising. I expected like a worldwide launch, especially for the Xbox side of things. Maybe you would want to have some of that PC population. They give you a bigger community than maybe Sony can offer on their own. But okay, you know, if that's how it's going to be.
Surprised we didn't hear anything. I know this is Sony, but we didn't hear anything of Halo 6.
Yeah, even though there was, it felt like it was going to be a down to the last second type of decision. But you know, if they weren't ready to show us anything yet, that's fine. I feel like they did a good enough job considering they didn't have their big hitters in Gears of War and Halo there.
Yeah, notice a kid in a spider suit jumping around trying to save bad people.
There is that, but I don't like the way they went about that per se.
Quick time event.
Yeah, the quick time events. Why? Look,
I thought those were gone.
Right?
I thought those died with PS3.
Yeah, speaking of like God of War stuff, like quick time events worked as finishers in God of War, but not so much in 2017. There are things that you can commend them for, like if you compare this more to a Batman game, how hard, you know, Batman will hit somebody. With Spider-Man, you kind of get that light pat feel to his attacks, which definitely, you know, at least fits with the character. So there's some immersion there. But they didn't really show enough, especially for a game that was already kind of like revealed when they announced the PlayStation Pro. I was kind of hoping for something a little bit more than this. Now, Miles Morales at the end, does that mean there's multiple Spider-Men? Where are they?
Yeah.
What's the plan there?
There were already multiple Spider-Man. I think they said that with the release that you were going to be able to play as multiple Spider-Man.
But I want to see how that works.
Their storyline or not, but or like different powers or anything like that. I don't know that because I'd like to see like even Superior Spider-Man, who I got yelled at for saying his name out loud. Him having a different story, him having a different power set than just OG Peter Parker.
Yeah. Look, I miss Spider-Man games, and especially Spider-Man 2. that was
Good game.
that was one of the best games back in the day to play. You couldn't explain where the web was sticking to on the screen,
Yep.
but hey, it was happening. You were having fun swinging around the city. So even if you get a little bit of that, I equate it personally to like people who like Crackdown, like me. First thing we want to do is climb to the top of a building, grab an agility orb. Same feeling.
Yeah.
So hopefully there's a lot of web swinging there. Hopefully there's a little bit less quick time events than we were shown here, and maybe that was just for the presentation to show how great the game looks, which it does look great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it wasn't the right thing to go off on, I think. If I was
No, not at all. It would have been much better to get like a God of War. God of War would have been a better way to end up with.
or the DLC, the Horizon,
Yeah.
or even Shadow of the Colossus, just as like a little like
Remake.
this is gonna be like the fourth time I buy that game.
Right?
I was kind of hoping maybe for an HD version of that with it, maybe incorporated VR at some point. I think it would be really cool to climb up atop this beast in first person, but you know, I guess I'm asking for too much right now.
Oh, God.
But I guess that means that was Sony. I would have to agree for what you said right in the beginning. This was not their best conference. They kind of coasted on what they had already announced and coasted on their phenomenal years so far.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sony has probably had the best year, including Nintendo, and it's so far of any of the big three. Like,
yeah, my thing is that they kind of blew their load between February and April, and now all these games that deserve their own like individual time, like a Neo or even a Gravity Rush, they really got like tossed aside in favor of other games like Horizon. And well, I need to talk to somebody about Nier Automata, but I don't think anyone's beaten it.
I've played it to completion on the A one. I have not done the weird things where you turn into other characters that I'm not allowed to say and things like that. Like I just played through the original storyline, just kind of got the vanilla one.
Which fine. Now, what if you had your whole little like 2-month window for that game just to focus on it? I'd
love to get all 26 freaking endings of that. Like,
see, this
it's
is that's where my fundamental flaw is with Sony right now. Is just they threw up all these launches right on top of each other, and now even though they're going to get cheaper, so as a gamer I shouldn't complain because Horizon Zero Dawn was just on sale for $40 as part of their Sony Play Days promotion. You could buy. GameStop had this crazy promotion where you could buy Neo and get Bloodborne for free.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine who hasn't played Bloodborne if they have a PS4, but what a promotion that
I
is.
hadn't until like Bloodborne, what, 4 months ago now? Yeah, so like I'd never played it before until a few months ago. So
But I even forgot what my point was there, except that they were just all on top of each other, where even at the end of last year, when you had something like The Last Guardian and just Final Fantasy 15 as your main games, you could have sprinkled another game in there to give them their own time. I guess that's my only problem with them, but this was not a conference to follow up on that momentum they had. So I feel like they're kind of stagnant right now.
yeah.
And God of War is not a 2017 game. None of these games are 2017 games except Days Gone, maybe? I don't even remember.
Is this year?
Which one?
Destiny?
Oh, but Destiny's for everything. I'm like thinking exclusive-wise. I can't think of anything that's not going to be in that same window like all these games came out, but next year.
Oh, wait. Did we skip over Shadow?
No, we didn't.
No, we talked about Shadows of the Colossus.
Not much to say.
We didn't talk about the other Shadow game.
The Hedgehog?
Oh, Shadows of War. Shadow the Hedgehog. Yes, Shadow the Hedgehog remake with more racism.
Oh wait, how did we miss that? That was the Microsoft conference thing too.
Yeah.
Oh man, that game looks awesome. One of the things that did fatigue me about the first game was that it just felt like they kept replacing one captain after another. No matter how many you defeated, there was always another one in place there. But what you did have at least was ability to combat a little bit better. But
Yeah.
this one looks so much like they raised the stakes, right? Now you can recruit, and they're going to be part of your like pretty much your siege crew to take out these facilities. Like it looks incredible.
You and your crew get to roll up on this keep and just demolish it.
Yeah, I'm excited for like massive, like I'm excited for like full tactics based, like real time strategy kind of things. Hopefully, we get that involved in there, and then switch over to Assassin's Creed with ghost powers and just, or I could have just said Dishonored, but and then you switch over to that to kind of execute everything. But I really want to take a full like hand in developing those.
Oh, and it's safe to say too that that giant orc, is going to be a fan favorite.
Oh yeah,
What I love
He was
the most about that, I love the most about that is that beyond the sense of humor, I got this Witcher vibe from seeing that conversation take place. The Witcher did a really good job in character development in these little cutscenes where conversations would take place, and in other games this would just be a text conversation, and they would say their piece, but there would be no attitude to it, no expressions on their face. And this game did a really good job of that, especially with that like pop at the end. That was great.
yeah.
More of that, please. I hope he's not the only character that does that, or else we would have been falsely sold upon that. But yeah, that game's gonna be great.
Yes.
This is CJ's personal favorite, the Nintendo conference or the Nintendo
Yeah,
Direct.
boy.
Because if the game's not fun, why bother?
My winner of E3, Nintendo.
Fanboy, excuse me.
You're not wrong.
All right.
Man,
You know,
well, go ahead.
yeah, they just started off with Pokken Tournament, which was announced earlier. During their Pokemon Direct that Friday.
Yeah.
That's the reason I don't want to give Nintendo the win, because this could have just been more announcements for E3 that they rushed to put out a week ahead. Why? Just bring it all together.
This was intentionally what they did was masterwork. They baited the fanboys that would watch this just to be like, oh, F this, blah 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 blah. They watched it out of spite because as well as I do that's a big thing. They baited them out with Pokken, and then just was like, yeah, everybody knows we're doing Pokken, you guys. Yeah, everybody likes Pokken. Hey, by the way, RPG for Switch. Bye.
Yeah,
Love it.
we worked on a core Pokemon game for the Switch.
Yeah, but he like so casually put it out there, like, yep, we're working on this. Bye. It'll be out like sometime, I guess.
Yeah, if they don't have anything to show, then that's far away.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even have a name for it. Like, they're not even confirming Pokemon Stars or anything like that. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
This is 2019, probably, you guys.
More than likely, yes.
We're well, I don't know. They probably can get it out by November next year.
It depends on what type of visuals they want for that game. If they want like the on-crack 3DS XL visuals that they've had for the last couple of games, with beautiful animations and stuff, but
they say that new core Pokemon game, right?
Yeah, it was a core Pokemon. Yeah.
So it's probably going to be a supplement to Aloha, probably.
Yeah, I think this is going to be. I have a feeling this will be the Emerald or the Yellow of Sun and Moon. However, I'm desperately hoping that Ultra Sun and whatever it is going to be like the Black and White 2 of it, where it's actually an expansion of the Alola story.
We'll see. I'm interested. Honestly, I've taken a big break from Pokemon. I'm purposefully waiting for the Switch version to see what type of steps they take as far as not only like visuals but gameplay wise to advance the franchise.
Yeah.
Rocket League on the Switch.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. This is one of the things that Nintendo really needed to do. They needed to get third-party support. So
Yep.
between the Ubisoft conference the day before and getting to see all that stuff on, Rabbids XCOM, and then seeing Rocket League, you're starting to see that support build, which is awesome. And
Yeah, which we
hopefully,
really haven't had since the GameCube, and I'm stoked to get that back.
yeah. And I'll be honest, like there are a couple of titles that I've already seen. There, I guess you can consider them indie, but they've been on PlayStation 4s. They've been on Xbox, and they're already in the library for the Switch. Thumper comes to mind as far as those like really good titles that hopefully with these type of announcements, you get more of those as well. In that price range too. The Switch has this sweet spot between 15 and $25, where you can get stuff like
Yep.
Thumper and
Voice.
God, yes, exactly. And they need more of that. So Rocket League should be a $20 game. That's what it's been.
I mean,
Yeah,
Hopefully
here's
it's not that way.
the Switch could turn into a huge market for third-party indies.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And the big thing with Rocket League too is it's going to be cross-compatible. So you're going to be able to play with your Xbox people. You're going to be able to play with PC people. That's always a bonus. Like they're creating that ecosystem.
Let's see. We also got a new Kirby and Yoshi game. I have a sweet spot for.
Kirby.
Oh my god! I think I missed the latest one, the Robo one.
It's
But
fun. It's a lot of fun.
I did play the Triple Deluxe one with the Hyper Vortex.
Yeah.
And yes, they're very simple platformers, but I really enjoy playing them. No, but the fact that I think in this one you can multiplayer now.
Yep. It is all 4 people can be on screen.
Oh man, that's
Like,
gonna be crazy.
The first player is pretty much always going to be Kirby, and then each of the other players can play a little one that he Pokemons.
Then you've got Yoshi's. Is this
Yoshi Woolly World.
yes? Which everyone fell in love with the first Yoshi World.
Yoshi Woolly World's so fun. It's such a good game.
Is the first Yoshi Woolly World pretty much Yoshi Island
Essentially, yes, but adorable.
with the eggs and all that? Yeah. Let's see. We got Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yes, JRPG me, please.
Yeah, CJ, you're our resident expert on JRPGs. Fire Emblem Warriors.
Yes, Muso me.
Okay. Zelda Breath of the Wild Master Mode this summer.
Yes, Bloodborne Zelda me.
Yes. Champion Ballad DLC, which we don't know what that is, but it's going to be more story for the champions.
Yes,
Oh, and the
Amiibo me.
amiibos. The amiibos, man.
Oh, the champions amiibos. I forgot about that.
I can't wait
Oh
to
my-
have Fish Waifu amiibo.
Fish wife.
They're going to sell them individually or as a set.
That'll be an individually, please. You can get more tax that way.
True. And then we have. Do you want this one to end it, or do you want the other announcement first?
I don't know which one you're talking about, so let's go with the one that I about fell out of my chair on as the last one, because you know exactly what I'm talking about, Ro.
Yes. Okay, we got Super Mario Odyssey,
Yay!
the hat game. I saw a
Yeah.
webcomic on this where Valve's holding a meeting. They figured out our secret, the hats.
But not only hats, your mustache.
Yes. And what's
get
interesting
to
is that you
Take over a T-Rex and it has a hat and a mustache. Day one
Yes.
purchase.
Yes, you also get to take over a Bullet Bill, which just it's a 3D Mario puzzle game. I freaking love it.
Right?
And the what they were showing off is that there's a 2D element as well, kind of like a Link Between Worlds.
Yeah.
But it's not like you go to a different world. It's just like you go flat. Like you play the Link Between Worlds, right? Both of you?
Yeah.
Yes.
He just goes flat, and he's playing on a what looks like an original Mario Brothers level, but it's slowly going up the tower as you're corkscrewing up.
Yeah,
And-
they do things similar to that in new Super Mario Wii U, and I loved it.
Okay. Yeah, and it's just like, oh, and like there's special room. Well, those rooms where like, oh, you're not allowed in here because you're not dressed right.
Yeah. And you get to become a person-safe person.
Yes.
Take over that person. He has a very weird mustache and a hat that stares at you.
Seeing some screenshots from this, you've got Peach looks amazing.
Yes. Pauline getting the pantsuit, man. Pauline rocking the pantsuit and gonna Hillary Clinton all over everybody.
Photorealistic T-Rex.
Yes. Monster
Yeah,
Hunter Mario.
Did you stick around for the treehouse afterwards?
No, but I got the news.
The amiibos for this super
Oh
detailed
no.
for
Nice.
Bowser and Mario. They have a wedding dress Peach.
Also
It's crazy.
confirmed.
They got like
Bowser's
$150 worth of.
guys.
It's $150 worth of amiibos coming out just from E3 announcements. And we need
Yeah.
every single one of them, don't we?
Every single one of them.
Yeah, like right now, I've got
including-
4 amiibos. I've pretty much got what, almost $50 of amiibos sitting on my desk.
Yeah, I mean that's not including the sheer amount of Fire Emblem amiibos that are going to be coming out with Heroes or whatever it is. I forget.
They released both Fire Emblem heroes from Smash Brothers, the male and the female Robin.
Yeah, they did. Well, I know there's the male Robin because I have it. I don't know if there's a female Robin.
Okay,
Because that's how you unlock Robin in all of the Fire Emblem games is by that amiibo.
So yeah, Super Mario Odyssey looks like an amazing game. They didn't give us a release date, did they?
Yeah, they did. It's this year. They gave us this year.
It's holiday.
holiday.
Yeah.
So yeah, they need it to come out this year. They need a Mario game.
Nintendo is doing this thing where they have one major title coming out a month, and that's amazing. Like,
Well, yeah, this last
Yeah, ARMS came out on Friday.
Yeah, ARMS came out in June.
and in July, Splatoon's coming out. August is frick. I know there's a game coming out in August. I just can't remember what it is. September, I believe it was.
No. No.
I'm pulling it up.
It really seems like it's going to be, I want to say November or December. Because right now, everything from like September to October, early November seems to be like just insane, chocked with releases.
Sonic Mania is somewhere in this summer window as well.
Yeah.
Splatoon 2 is July. Monster Hunter XX August 25th in Japan.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I don't know if that means we can download it. I mean, we should be able to download it then if you wanted to. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle in August. Azure
Right.
Striker Gunvolt also in August.
Sure.
God, that's a loaded month right there.
Oh man,
And then
yeah.
Pokken in September.
There we go. Yep, that's what I was thinking for September, and then October is getting.
Well, Odyssey is listed here for October 27th.
There we go. Yeah. Yep. And Just Dance 2018. Game of the year.
Oh my God! Can we? Oh my God! If anyone doesn't know Kroby Cat, look up his supercut for E3 2017. You get everything from the embarrassment of the poor YouTube guy for Need for Speed and the EA conference, but you also get that little bit with a Scorpion lookalike for that Just Dance routine, just mumbling to himself why he's there. It's the funniest thing ever.
And finally,
Here we go. No, I want to do this one. I want to do this one. I want to do this one. So, for the last like 3
Frog Fraction.
or E3s, the joke has always been, "Hey, they're gonna announce a new game." ha ha, because I'm a snarky Nintendo fanboy who's not a real fanboy. So ha 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 ha. Nintendo takes those stupid wannabe fanboys and rakes their noses through the mud. Not only are we getting 1, 2 games, one of which is coming out this year for the 3DS, and Metroid Prime 4. I could not be happier.
And oh man, and they have to release a box set for it. Whatchamacallit?
A collection?
A collection,
Yeah,
yes. They need to release the collection for the Switch and redo the motion controls for Prime and Corruption. No, Prime and Two Worlds?
Uh,
I'm fine if they just do Prime. To be honest.
yeah. I mean, if we get 2 and 3, cool. I don't even want like a box set. I mean, that'd be cool with a box set, but just kind of release the trilogy that you did for the Wii U or for the Wii onto the Virtual Console. That's all you gotta really do.
Yeah. The first one I played, a great game, amazing music, looked beautiful on the GameCube. On the GameCube.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And then
like,
which I never got a chance to play the second one, but the third one on the Wii, I played Corruption. Such a great game. It was just like
GameCube was underrated, man.
it really was. There were so many good.
Twilight Princess was gorgeous as well. Like you didn't need a Wii for that.
No. In fact, I think, in my opinion, the Wii ruined it with its weird motion controls.
I had one tale about Metroid Prime Corruption. Going over to my friend's place and staying up all night to finish that game, I came to the realization: why does every single boss have a ground smash? Even the small
Set the stone for Dark Souls, man.
Yeah, I mean, like every single, even the other. Well, it's a 10-year-old game by now. The other Samus you fight.
Yeah, spoilers.
I know spoilers. It's like a 10-year-old game by now.
Yeah, spoilers.
The other being you fight that's around your same size.
And roughly your same armor and maybe your same gender, and
He's just Shadow, and
That thing has a ground smash. But yeah, the backtracking didn't get too much on my nerves because that's why
what you get out of a Metroid. That's the entire point of a Metroid game is to
backtrack, but it doesn't feel like it's, how do you say, it's tedious. It doesn't feel that tedious to do it because
I mean, yeah, occasionally you'll get to, oh my god, I have to go all the way back to that part of the map that's like all the way over there. And in like the Prime games, it's such a huge world map that like that could get real distracting real fast. But like they try to keep it relatively good that you don't feel like that.
Yeah, you go to this new area and it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be back. And then the secret areas are like the ones that like you need to come here because you need to get this file so you can go back here and progress further.
Yeah.
Which is Metroid game at its core.
Exactly.
And and that was E3. Lots and lots of games.
And that's not including all the smaller ones. Like Atlas did a big press release that about there, except for Persona because they hate us. And like, yeah, there was a lot of stuff at E3. It was a good year. It wasn't a great year, but it was a really good year.
Well, but that's they did show off a lot of stuff, but they didn't really have, because they had their 2 big games. They had Wolfenstein Evil Within 2.
Yeah.
More, and then Skyrim and Doom and Fallout. But like last year they had a huge year.
Even for Nintendo, the reason I don't give them the win is because they had this big elephant in the room as far as, talk about this app. Give me details on the app. This is gonna be this is an important thing. Tell me what's gonna have like, and they just didn't get to that, which I would have sat there happily for another 10 minutes and listened to what they had to say about that. I feel like we're still way too much in the dark on those features that are gonna complete the Switch console. And yeah, that's why I give it the Ubisoft, because Ubisoft they hit these home runs that were also surprises. They didn't let anything leak out for them, and oh, man, Beyond Good and Evil is like the best way to cap any of the conferences that I've seen. So,
Oh yeah.
you know what was the worst thing I saw at E3?
What's that?
What?
That stupid fishing game, that Final Fantasy 15
Oh my
Sega
God.
Bass fishing game. Are they out of their mind with that nonsense?
So is it you're gonna be able to play the mini game in the game in VR, or they're gonna try and
No, it's a
But,
separate game.
Yeah, it is a completely separate SKU. Like they're gonna have you buy a freaking fishing game.
Get out of here with that. You know what would have helped Sony too during their conference, to give you a little like tidbit, because like their VR was underwhelming as far as what the games they were announcing. The little mouse with the sword is cute, but it's a platformer, right? Like they showed two platformers for a VR console.
yes, you're actually
Yes.
out. You're actually looking down on the terrain.
Which is cool for depth of effect, but I feel like other games do that without VR, like a Limbo.
Yeah.
But whatever. Like maybe include that for your PlayStation Gold members, having VR titles start to trickle into the free category.
Yeah, the thing is that I don't think anyone's found the. Well, no, Star Trek Bridge, and what's that Star one? The where you're driving the actual spaceship.
Artemis.
No, the other one. The one where they just found the aliens in it.
Robinson the Journey?
Star Citizen? No, not Star Citizen. Oh, what the heck?
It wasn't Robinson the Journey?
No. It's one where you actually have to like land your ship and
Oh, No Man's Sky.
no. You can actually play it with VR with joysticks and all that, like with the full setup.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know either. I'm lost on this one, bro.
But I guess the point being, like they had a good chance of maybe pacifying maybe some of the crowd, feeling that this is just too passive from them by doing something like that. Maybe they still do it at Tokyo Game Show or something. It just like
Yeah,
EA
Sony does have a point of being a Japanese company, so like they have TGS to play on. So
And TGS kind of like requires you to bring actual gameplay, right?
yeah, TGS will rip you alive if you do not bring stuff to that.
I mean EA.
I mean, not just
EA was flat out embarrassing.
that was bad. 9/21 through 22 is business day for TGS, by the way. So we're gonna get Gamescom first.
Cologne, Germany.
New Hero, maybe.
Probably. I mean, Gamescom is big for Blizzard, so you're gonna get a lot from Blizzard at Gamescom. I don't know.
There's
I'll
already
be
stories leaking about Blizzard and them remastering Diablo 2 and working on Warcraft 3.
We'll probably get it on the Necromancer, probably.
Yeah, probably a release date on that. I mean, it is late August that we're getting that information, so it's like I don't know.
And now the lull begins.
Basically, yeah. Between now and Gamescom, we're gonna get kind of leaky stuff. But like last year, Nintendo had a Treehouse shortly after E3. I don't think we're getting Nintendo Treehouse. No, nothing announced from what E3 or what post E3 has. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna be in a lull for a little bit, probably, just kind of leaky information between here and there until Gamescom, which will be fine. Kind of give us a chance to mull over and, you know, I think next week we'll be on this show. It'll be a fun introduce Rachel to the world of streaming and get her on some Overwatch next weekend.
Nice.
That should be fun.
And also, other than that, are you guys playing any games? Because I want to talk about a game real quick.
Persona. I'm like I said, I got back into Persona.
So, oh, go ahead, Meg.
The free-to-play title this month for Xbox called Speedrunners is actually really addictive and really fun. I'm pleasantly surprised by it, and it gets insane when you have a friend playing against you. And the thing that happens in that game, it's literally like a wall runner, and you have rappel hooks to grab onto ceilings to swing faster. And if you get too far away from last place and they fall off the screen, they're eliminated. And so what happens is when you get down to 2 people, the screen starts to shrink little by little to make it even more difficult and more like it was such a crazy experience. It like goes into sudden death essentially. It's like you have to stay on your opponent, and any misstep when the screen gets smaller and smaller means your death. And it's like first to 3 points wins. So it's really cool. I'd recommend it to anybody, especially for a group setting. It's a great party game, in my opinion.
Oh, the game I was thinking of was Elite Dangerous.
Ah. So No Man's Sky. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
What have you been playing, CJ?
So I want to talk about a game that's only out in Europe right now. It's coming out for the US PlayStation. It's coming out for the PS US Store Tuesday. From Nippon Ichi Software, they gave me a couple review codes for God Wars. Now, I've been following this game for a while now because it's Nippon Ichi Software, the makers of Disgaea, putting out another freaking SRPG. So, like, the current masters of that craft putting out another SRPG. I'm like, you need to give me this game, and it needs to come out now. Rachel's playing it in the background right now. So it is Final Fantasy Tactics put into mystical medieval feudal Japan, where gods are real and gods inherit everything from everything living. Pretty much has a god inside of it. So even the grass has a bunch of mindless myriad gods that are all green and just say nonsense, to the point where, you know, literally everything is kind of god powered, and there are pretty much just two races. One is gods and one is humans. But it takes what you've known from Final Fantasy Tactics. So you have your character selection, you have your proper placement, you have your tactical movements, you have your turn base, you have your speed mattering, you have your jobs, you have your job points, and you have your ability points and all that stuff. You level up. Cool thing with this is each character, because you only get storyline characters, you don't create characters, and each of them has their own unique class. Your main character, a former guard turned gardener, is that's his skill set. He's real great with an axe, because he is strong, disciplined to death. But I mean, it is literally a attack game.
Hey, what? You're breaking up really bad. You're roboting.
It is a spiritual successor fully to Final Fantasy Tactics, and like everything about it is just brilliant. From the music, which is very feudal Japan, you have your windpipes, you have your drums, you have that's pretty much it. Stick music. It is such a brilliant game, and like we got it for both the PlayStation 4 and Vita for review. Rachel's playing it on the PS4. I'm playing it on the Vita. I don't want to put it down. This game is so much fun to play, and I can't. Yeah, Rachel should have been in bed an hour ago, but she's still continuing to play it right now. So, I mean, that should tell you something. And Rachel's big time on her beds. I'm going to give God Wars Future Past a 5 out of 5. It is a brilliant. And if you like that, and the cool thing is it has a nice suspend feature that's real easy to access. So, like, if you get halfway through, if you're in a battle, it's like, oh man, I got to go to anything like that. Like, you can interrupt an enemy's turn and say suspend, and when it comes back, it will finish that turn. And that is great. Like, you can put many hours into it right up front, or you can come back to it when you're ready to. And it's
Cool.
Nice.
So on that note, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and head off of here, you guys. You can reach us, geekio@gmail.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all of which are /geekio show. Make sure you tune in normally Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern over at twitch.tv/geekio show or geek-io.net/live. Like I said, next week we will be doing some Overwatch for the third time of a Let's Play, but hey, we're going to introduce Rachel to the world of streaming.
Which we'll probably
so
Discord for.
Yeah, we'll be hopping on our Discord for it. So if you're interested in playing with us, shoot us an email. .com. Make sure you put Gamer Geeks in the subject line so that way I properly get it labeled. You can support us, this show, this stream, and everything that we do over at patreon.com/geekio, patreon.com/geekio. We can do a lot more with a little bit of help from you guys. So, you know, it a little bit goes a long way to getting us to do more and better things. So, for myself, for Raul, and for Mig, who dealt with the horse pucky that was E3's crap show this year.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse because apparently putting more next year.
Ugh.
Yeah. For those who are not watching video, Mig just audibly rolled his eyes loud enough to get Google Hangouts just switch from Raul to Miguel.
Robot.
So we will we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
This has been a Geek.io Media Network production. Copyright 2017.
You probably thought I was going to have the music ready, right, CJ?
I would not at all think that. That's mean.
And stop. All right. Except for my computer restarting in the middle of the show, everything went well.
Yeah.
Thank you for the follows. See you next time. And also.